What is up, everybody? Welcome to The Real Build. I'm your host, Bill Ryman, your broker builder. And today I got another solo episode. I've been liking doing these solo episodes just so I can kind of speak topics on my mind and kind of tell you how we are doing things at RK Ryman Construction and what we are facing, what we are going through, because I feel like this helps the client more than ever when I actually talk about real life situations. So this is actually a real life situation we are dealing with, and it's very important too. But before I get into it, obviously you all know the routine. I don't ask for much. Just like, comment, share, 5-star review this on iTunes. Leave a simple, quick comment. It really goes a long way. And I appreciate each and every one of you tuning in each week, because this show continues to grow each and every week, and I appreciate you all. So with that being said, let's get into today's topic. What I wanted to talk about, and we're actually closing on 2 houses, is the punch out system. Now, if you guys follow me on Instagram, I'm Bill Ryman on Instagram. If you guys follow me, you'll see in my stories that we are punching out. It's been at least this for the last month, a couple of homes we're finalizing. And I wanted to talk about steps your builder should be taking prior to handing you the keys. So if you're building a house right now, this episode, you should be in tune with this episode. You should really turn up this one, because this is the final stage, the final countdown, the final handing you the keys and what you should expect that your custom home builder should be doing. Production home builders, you may do it a different way. So feel free to message me because you guys are doing a lot of mass product and so on if you're listening out there. But I'm going to kind of go out of real life here in how we do things at RK Ryman Construction. And if you all follow my Instagram, like I was saying, you'll see that we blue tape a lot of stuff. And for those of you that listen, what I use blue tape for is we mark it stands out so people can see it. It's that painter's blue tape you can buy at any hardware store. And we take it, we rip it off, and we mark every little imperfection throughout the house. So how we actually do it is we go by room to room and walk through each room before we close on the house, and we mark every little imperfection. Well, in my Instagram stories, I actually show, even the littlest minute things that people wouldn't mark, I mark them. And people, I get messages all the time like, "You're crazy. This is crazy. I'd have an anxiety attack walking into that room," and so on. And a lot of people, they joke around with me and stuff like that. But we are very, very serious, and we have a reputation for, overdoing things and over delivering. And if you're a builder out there listening, that's what you should be doing also. We personally do our punch outs. We don't have I have a superintendent. He also helps do it as well. But my brother and I, both yesterday all day we were at one of the houses, and you'll see that one on my Instagram story if you're tuning in today. But we were at a house, and each of us kind of split up. So I started in the master area, my brother started in the guest room on the opposite side of the house, and we kind of meet in the middle as we go and blue tape this house. So what we're doing is we're kind of putting the things together so that the painters can see it, the cabinet guys, all these different subcontractors that we have can see, what we think needs to be fixed in short term, so you guys can understand a little bit more. So, our painters, trim carpenters, cabinet, we look at, the cabinets, appliances, tile, countertops, our electricians, our counter guys, like I just said, our low voltage guys, we prep them by doing this, by looking at every single little detail. So on our closings going into this, it's chaotic. We got a lot of people in there all at once. Everybody's running around. It's crazy. We're trying to get these things done, but we're trying to get them done so that they are perfect for delivery for the customer. So that's what we're getting in today. So what do I do to deliver the best product possible to each and every client? And that goes into I want to kind of go through this list. I'll get more into the punch outs and stuff like that. But first off, one thing we do is we establish a date that works for our clients, that works for everybody. And that includes us as the builder. So prior to the closing date, or prior to actually set, we all kind of sit down, we assess, okay, where are we at? What do we need done? What still is left? Who do we have to come in and fix these minor details? Who do we have to still schedule to finalize these final touches? And we establish that time frame. We actually call the customer, or we sit down with the customer and say, hey, okay, what's going to work for you? We try not to force the time, because a lot of clients out there, especially some of you listening, yes, you are eager to get in your house, but you have to understand, if you want a superior product, you got to give the builder time. So I always emphasize this. That's kind of setting the expectation before the closing. I've talked about that in the past as well. So when we finalize things with the client, because we get asked almost every meeting, when do you think we'll be in? When do you think the house will be finished? We don't necessarily give a guaranteed time frame until we get close to the end. So if you're a builder out there, you shouldn't guarantee anything until you're, especially in the world. Listen to my last podcast episode, the state of construction, especially the world we're living in today, where there's just a lot of unknowns on delivery times and so on. So figure out a time that's comfortable for everybody, and especially you as the builder, just because if you go too early, and this has happened to us, I'm talking about past experiences. If we determine a date too early and then we're doing a final walkthrough and there's people everywhere running around and you're trying to close and the cleaners are there, but yet there's subcontractors going in and out, trucking dirt from outside in, it's just a complete mess. So establish a date that is comfortable for you as a builder, and to the client that's listening, you need to establish a date that's comfortable for you as well. But keep in mind that you need the builder to have that time to finish these small tasks, because if a builder, like I started this episode with our blue tape, we are punching out these little fine details that most of the time you're not going to see. If it's a good builder, that's what they'll do, because they care. They want to over deliver. So these little tiny things take time. Believe it or not, they take a lot of time and a lot of aggravation to get them done and get things perfect and getting people in and out of there. So both parties establish a good time to where everybody is on the same page and you can close, where it's just you in the building, in the house. That is it. Nobody else running around in the way. So next step, walk the house, make a list. This is crucial. So before you even get into blue taping up those walls, you got to walk through that house and make a full list of what needs to be done. And this kind of ties into that final closing date as well. Make your list, see, okay, and just walk through room by room, make sure, walk outside, check every single thing, what needs to still be done, what's not correct, and so on. And make sure that list covers every single little detail throughout that whole entire house. Now, customers, you guys listening to this too, you're going to want to do that too. Get permission from the builder and go through the house by yourselves and see what pops out to you. Maybe something's not done that should have been done. Write it on your notes so that when you meet with the builder on that final walkthrough, if that's still not done, you're going to realize it. Because when you go on that final walkthrough, a lot of different things are going to be going on where you're learning things and so on, and you're not really seeing and looking for those things before. Just make sure you have that list so you can discuss it with the builder, and then even bring it up to the builder, and you guys can compare notes as well. We do that as well, and especially on custom homes, guys. These things, there's so much going on in them that we just want perfection on that delivery, because that's the happiest time for the client. Yeah, the process should be great and so on, but that client builds a house for one reason. They want it done and they want to be in it. So think about that. Compare notes. Communication is key. I've talked about this in the past. So if you're a customer out there and you're building a home, you need to be emphasizing this to your builder. Even if you're doing a remodel too, just take notes. Don't think you're being a pest or whatever. Your builder should appreciate that communication. I like kind of explaining things, like talking about myself too. We've come to time. I mean, if you're too pushy as a customer and you're constantly calling us, telling, hey, you missed this, hey, you missed that, we're doing our job. We're going to not miss stuff. I've had customers that are like, hey, did you see this? You guys haven't done that yet. Yeah, because we haven't got to it. So don't get pushy on stuff. Just if there's stuff that you continue to see missed, that's not getting done, and as you're edging closer and closer to closing, you need to bring it up. So make that list. You builders out there also make that list too. It's very important. And then also customers and builders, you should do a walkthrough together, maybe one punch out walkthrough, and communicate everything of put your list together, combine everything as well. So back to the blue tape. Like I opened the show up, you guys watch my Instagram. We should invest in blue tape. I don't even know if you can buy stock in it. I think you through the main company. I probably should because we use so much of it. Jokingly, all jokes aside, it is important to mark every single little detail, and it's this process is so crucial before closing homes, because when you go around room to room and look at every single detail in a home, any kind of imperfection, you want to mark it. So when I'm talking about the blue tape mark, I'll reiterate this as trim walls, tile, cabinets, countertops, caulking mistakes, closets, ceilings, outside, go outside, look at all the sidewalls, the stucco, the roof, the railings, below the railings, are those caulked and sealed? The outdoor tile, the ceilings outside, the countertops outside, the outdoor cabinetry, all the cabinetry inside. I might have said that already. Pavers. There's so many different things. Make sure pavers aren't chipped. Look at all the stone pavers in the back if you're using stone. Make sure all the pavers are level and they're not bouncing around. And also just make sure everything gets looked at. The tiniest little details need to get marked. So I call them, like on walls, we do a lot of level 5 smooth coat. So you cannot hide anything. You see literally every single imperfection on the walls. If there's a little tiny little thing sticking out, or I call them like a booger, they just any kind of imperfection, or maybe the painter did too much paint and slopped it on, I mark it. They need to sand it down and touch it up, because I see it. That's what matters. The client may not notice it. We're not just going to walk by and be like, yeah, that's not that bad. We mark literally everything. And I'll joke, our painters hate us. I mean, they really do, because they go into one of our houses and they're like, yeah, we're going to have a lot of punch out work. And they've said that to us too. They've said that I've had subcontractors. My cabinet guy yesterday said, Bill, be easy with that blue tape. That's what he said to me. And that's actually a compliment to me, because they know what to expect. They know their expectation going into each and every closing. Like I said, check my Instagram story out. You will see exactly the expectations that we set. Ceilings, every single thing gets marked. Yeah, it could slow down the process a little bit, but in a custom home, especially on the luxury end, you want to over deliver. And customers that are listening to this, you will appreciate that too. A lot of you, like I said, want to get into your houses as soon as possible, but you should appreciate a builder going above and beyond. And that's how I explain this to them too. I got a week extension on another house. We talked about it because we're waiting on some stair treads. And I was talking to her yesterday, and she goes, well, what do you think? We're set to close on the 28th. Do you think we should extend it a week? I said, yeah, I'd love to be honest with you, up front with you. I would love to extend this one more week, just because I know we can get it done by that closing date, but it'll give me another week just in case some kind of delay happens or they get it in. Obviously, we're going to have to do touch-ups. Stuff's going to have to take place after those treads get in. And then I can get the cleaner in for the final cleaning as well. So, that's communication, that's talking to the customer. And she agreed. She goes, yeah, I like that, Bill. And then that can just be us. The house is clean. Nobody's running around doing touch-ups, anything like that. And I joke, I say our painters hate us, but like I said, they know what to expect with us. They go into these, and the clients see this content that I produce too. and they see that we over deliver. A lot of builders aren't going to over deliver like that and take their time to make sure everything is perfect. It's so important. If you're building a house, you need to set that expectation to the builder too on what you expect. Builders that are listening to this, that you think your clients are a pain or whatever for asking you to do those little things, but it should be already a standard. I'm sorry, it should be a standard. That's why we've gotten to where we are as a builder, because we've set that standard, and you should do it as well. So um next thing, get all your inspections finalized well before the actual closing date. Speaking from experience, we've done this too, where we've had inspections going on and some of them got delayed. We're in a busy market, but even in the past too, we set them too late, and then the closing day was the next day. Try and push those a week ahead of the closing, just so you can get that CO, which is a certificate of occupancy. You have no issues there. Your clients can just move right in with no problems. All the inspections are done. There's no delays. It's very important on the builder side, and as a client to just make sure your builder's got all the inspections completed, and they should. Otherwise, you shouldn't be able to move into a house, or move any furniture in as well. That's kind of how we structure things too. Is we make sure everything's completed until we get a CO. We're not there's no keys being handed to anybody. So another thing too, that I brushed on everything else, but as you're going around on your punch outs too, and the customer, for you all listening to this, your builder should be checking all your appliances, making sure they're all level, making sure everything's in tight, there's no gaps, there's nothing. Also checking all the sinks, making sure the hot water runs efficiently, checking all the plumbing, all the traps in the plumbing, making sure there's no leaks, checking all the AC equipment, the generators, all the stuff, the meat and the bones that runs that house. Those all need to be checked. Just make sure everything is running and up to par. The pool pumps, all that. So we do that. We do a walk around and make sure all that runs efficiently. And then after all this, after all the madness, kind of getting towards the end of this, is make sure it's clean. So we actually do a couple cleanings, sometimes 3 cleanings, because these are big houses. But the initial cleaning is prior to punch outs, prior to the blue tape. So we get all the construction dust out of there, clean off all the baseboard. We have these cleaning girls that come in and they literally go through the house, clean out all the cabinets, the windows, peel the stickers, the tape, the floors get peeled up, the protection on the floors. And we just make sure we can physically see everything. And when it's clean, you can see it a lot more. You can feel it a lot more, because sometimes with painters too on trim, they'll spray because they didn't wipe down the trim or something. They'll spray over it and you'll have a rough trim. Well, when it's clean, you can see this kind of stuff, and you can mark that grit, that grittiness on that baseboard or whatever with a piece of tape, so the painter has to sand it down. So get things clean. And obviously, before you hand the keys to, you're going to want them to come in for a final clean. So once that final clean happens, everything should be spotless. Dust should be all out. They need to clean on top of cabinets, so on. We kind of set that expectation with our cleaning crew, and grout lines should be clean, so on. Things need to be perfect. Like I said, I keep saying the word perfect in this. This is how your delivery should go with your builder. So if you're listening out there, this is my perspective on things, obviously, as well. So I'm hoping this is helping. And then double check your list. Make sure, go through your list again. My brother and I go through kind of the list, make sure everything was touched up, done, caulked, cleaned, grouted, countertops were polished off. If there's scratches on any kind of countertops, the appliances look good. They're leveled out. Just these are the little things that take time, but when you're delivering a home, they have to be perfect. And that's kind of the expectation we set. And then it comes to the final thing, which is your final walkthrough with your clients. So you're going to walk through this house. You're going to have that closing date that both of you establish. It's just going to be you there. You're going to get them a bottle of wine or a present, some kind of thing, and we're all going to be happy and having a good time, talk about the house, what we went through. It was a long process, but we got here. We're all celebrating together, and they become part of our family as well. But what we do on that final walkthrough is we walk through and we show them how all the equipment runs, where it is, where the water shutoffs are, how to control water heaters, run the sinks, do the pool heater, the Aqualink system if you're using one of those, your Control 4, your smart home automation, kind of walk them through a short run on that, and then also schedule your smart home provider to come and do a class with them also. Just the little things, turn on the fire pits, the fireplaces, show them everything works, the grill, fire that up. And it's just a time together to kind of showcase the house together, deliver that perfect product to them. Everybody's happy. They get the keys. They're ready to move their furniture in, and they get to enjoy their beautiful home. So, guys, this was another topic on my mind. I hope this helped. I'm going to be doing a lot of these because I think these help. The interviews are great. I'm going to, obviously squeeze in some interviews too. But I like to talk about a lot of the personal experiences I go through. I've been getting a ton of feedback from you all too. So I hope this helps. Love you all. Thank you for listening to this show. Really appreciate it. Appreciate all of you guys. And I will see you all on the next episode.